Ever heard another developer say, consulting sucks. It's just like a job, but billing by the hour. Well, I don't mean to be that guy, but if that's your takeaway, you probably haven't seen real consulting yet. It's just like when companies say they're agile, but really, they just renamed their meetings. You'll hear a lot of devs say they're consultants, but they're still acting like employees. After consulting for over 20 companies myself, I can tell you true consulting always starts with an offer. And for the past 2 years, I've been coaching other developers to come up with their own, but not just any offer, one they can do in just a few hours a week alongside their day job until they're ready to go all in. In this episode, I'll share the essential 8 components of the exact type of offer that sets you up for a successful transition into self-employment. There's an easy way to remember this using the acronym LEVRIDGE, but we're going to spell it a little differently. I combine the word leverage, which is something you definitely want, and bridge, which is what we're building for your career. Let's start with the first letter, L. It stands for leverage, but maybe not the way you think. It's a special kind of leverage, the kind that lets you cut the cord from working as an employee. The leverage we want is to get you the maximum income for the minimum effort. When I coach developers to use this system, what they offer must be worth at least $300 per hour. Now, you won't actually bill your clients by the hour, but you still want to make sure the work is worth that much. The second letter, E, stands for evolving. I'm guessing you've probably heard of the concept of a minimum viable product. This is where a company can't afford to build the entire software product they want, so they build a small version of it first to get feedback. Well, this is exactly what you want to do, but as a consultant. Start with a minimum viable offer, something valuable but doable that you can build on. The way you become a premium consultant is by having an offer that reliably creates super happy clients, and that takes experimentation and improvement over time, just like building software. The third letter, V, stands for valuable. Ever try to convince another engineer of the value of one of your ideas? You might have found some new coding library or AI tool, and you show them how it will make work easier. But when you're selling an offer to a company, what's important is not making work easier. It's got to be valuable to the business. If it's not making them more money, more efficient, helping them avoid risk or satisfy their customers, you'll just be seen as another engineer and not a trusted advisor. The fourth letter, R, stands for repeatable. When I started consulting 20 years ago, I joined a consulting firm right here in Austin, Texas. They would find projects around town and put me on them. Every project was different. On one project, I was building a web app. The next one, I was creating business intelligence dashboards. And the next one, I was writing mobile applications. It was fun, but it also wasted a lot of my potential. Since I wasn't getting paid for things I learned in the past on my current project, it turned me into a generalist. This is not the kind of offer you want to be seen as a premium consultant. You want to deliver one outcome over and over again to different clients. The way you become in demand is by being truly excellent, and that only comes with practice. The fifth letter, I, stands for independent. I had one career coaching client from Ukraine I was working with about 4 years ago. He was working with Oracle at the time as one of their lead DevOps people. When he came to me, he wanted to create a premium consulting offer so he could start working for himself. His first idea was to help companies build CI/CD pipelines. These are basically complex systems that use custom automation to release versions of the software to customers. Now, I knew a lot about continuous delivery, but I wanted to use this as a teaching moment. So I asked him, how many other people have to do their job for you to successfully create a CI/CD pipeline? And he said, oh man, it's like an act of the government. It takes months of approval, and there are so many people that get in the way. This is great work when you're an employee and the company can eat all those delays and still pay you. But when you're a premium consultant, you've got to offer work that has as few dependencies on other people as possible. So ask yourself, can I do this mostly with minimal interaction with their team? If the answer is yes, you're on the right path. The sixth letter, D, stands for demonstrable. It's no good promising a client you can get them value in their business if you can't prove it, right? When you create a premium consulting offer, you got to think about how you'll prove it got results. Is your work going to make them more money? Think of how you'll prove it to them. Is your work going to make them more efficient? Think of how they can measure the savings. Is your work going to help them satisfy their customers better? What can they measure to know how customer perception is changing? Now, often your work won't have instant results. You'll actually finish the consulting engagement and they won't see your impact until later. But regardless, you got to give them a way to know when those results come in. This is how you build a reputation as not just a task doer, but someone who creates real value. The seventh letter, G, stands for gradual. Ever hear someone tell you how they tried consulting but gave up? They probably did it full time without prior consulting experience. And when they couldn't find more clients, they crawled back to the employee grind. That's the exact type of situation we don't want you to be in. So when you're creating a premium consulting offer, start with something minimal. It won't be enough to quit your day job, and that's the point. We want you getting paid amazingly well for your effort and learning how to deliver something excellent at the same time. And only when you've done it a few times and you really understand how to reliably find new clients, then go all in. And the eighth and final letter, E again, stands this time for ecstatic. The way you become a premium consultant is by having undeniable proof of your ability to get results. That doesn't happen overnight, but you need to be intentional about it. You can do this a variety of ways, but the easiest is to get a testimonial from your client when the work is done. If you're like me, I sometimes had a hard time advocating for myself in a company. I didn't want to look like a show-off, but you're a business now. You need to build trust with new customers. So ask yourself, what can I offer that may be a small effort, but my client is going to be thrilled with how it turns out? If your offer is boring, low value, or nice to have, it is not the foundation of a successful consulting business. So now you know the 8 essential elements of the kind of consulting offer that'll let you go solo.